Okay, good morning. So for today's lesson, we're going to work on applying the formula for slope when given a table of values. So if I get right into it here, so if I'm given an equation like this, actually I don't have the equation, I just have the table. So something that we've been doing in the past is we've been putting it on the graph. But this will give you another way to do it that can be a little bit more efficient. So I'm going to start by writing down what I know, and then I'm going to go ahead and do my formula. So I know that my m value is going to be my slope. I know that my b value is going to be my y-intercept. I know that for a linear equation, my formula is always going to be y equals mx plus b. And I actually already know what the b value is because of this table of values here. So I can see that my b value is equal to positive 1. So I'm actually in really good shape. I already know that my equation is going to be y equals mx plus 1. So all I need to find is that m value. And that's where this formula can be really useful. So what this formula says is I'm going to find the difference in my y's and the difference, because I'm subtracting, in my x's to find my y over my x value, to find my slope, my change in y over my change in x value. So I can pick any 2 points I want. It's useful for me to pick points that are next to each other, but it doesn't have to be. It can be any 2 points that are on the line. So I'm going to make this really easy for myself. So I'm going to use the point 0, 1. Those are super friendly numbers, and I'm going to use the point 1, 4. Now, here's where some students get confused because this is going to be my y1 number, and this is going to be my y2 number. This is going to be my x2 number, and this is going to be my x1 number. So I have to set this up right or it's not going to work. So what I'm going to have is 4 minus 1 over 1 minus 0. And what I can see here is that this is the point 1, 4, and this is the point 0, 1. Okay, so 2 y values on the top, 2 x values on the bottom, and then this is my second point right here, and this is my first point right here. So then what I have is 3 over 1. And that's all I need to do to find my value for slope. So my final equation is going to be y equals 3 over 1 x plus 1. And we know that we can simplify that in our simplest form, y equals 3x plus 1. So that's all I needed to do to find my equation for this table of values. So here is another table of values. Okay, and this one I made a little bit more difficult because I gave you some negative numbers. All right, so I know that my m value is going to be my slope. I know my b value is going to be my y-intercept. I know that my equation equals y equals mx plus b. And I know that my formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, which is going to give me my change in y over my change in x. So again, I can pick any 2 points on the line that I want. So I'm going to make it easy. Point 1, 0, negative 2. Point 2, 2, negative 1. Okay, so when I set up my formula, I'm going to use these 2 numbers on top. So negative 1 minus a negative 2. And 2 minus 0. Okay, so a negative 1 minus a negative 2 is like saying negative 1 plus 2, which gives me a positive 1. And 2 minus 0 gives me a half. Okay, I'm just going to double check that. Because I thought maybe it was negative slope, but it's not. The numbers are going up here. Okay, so my slope is equal to 1/2 x. And my b value, I can already see is in the table, is right here, is equal to negative 2. So that means that my final equation is 1/2 x minus 2. All right, so just to do one more example, I will go ahead and do the self-check here. So I have my table of values and I have my what I know box. So what I know, m equals slope, b equals y-intercept, In this case, my b value equals 2. I know my equation is going to equal y equals mx plus b, so I already know that it's y equals mx plus 2. I know that my formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So 0.1 and 0.2, and I'm going to use positive coordinates because that's going to make it easier. So I'm going to use the 0.02 and I'm going to use the 0.15. So I'm going to do 5 minus 2 over 1 minus 0 gives me 3 over 1. So that's going to be my slope value. So my equation is equal to y equals 3x plus 2. Okay, so I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you guys in class.